In my opinion, the Freedom of Information Act is noble in intent to enhance transparency in government. It's a great thing. I think we all agree on that. You probably use it, many of you, in the process of doing your jobs. But the way it's been used in the last 4 or 5 years in climate science and in other arenas is the antithesis of using something like that to enhance scientific discovery. It's been used as a tool for harassing people. I really do believe that. I have direct personal experience of frivolous Freedom of Information Act requests from Mr. Stephen McIntyre. In my case, after a paper we published in 2008, setting the scientific record straight on this flawed paper that was published in 2007, the Freedom of Information Act request was applied to request data that essentially were already available in this big archive of model results. And I spent months of my time dealing with these Freedom of Information Act requests. Very, very frustrating. Phil Jones had over 60 in 1 month. Can you imagine what it's like when you're a scientist and all you really want to do is improve our understanding of the nature and causes of climate change? And you have to deal with someone who has not devoted years of their career to the study of surface temperature data and to the difficult job of trying to put together information from thousands of surface temperature measuring stations into a coherent record of climate change. And this someone runs a blog and has set themselves up as an arbiter of statistical purity in climate science. They're the judge of what's good, what's bad, and they have ultimate power. They have the power to get people riled up, to write to your university, to write to your employers, to write to your funding agencies, to submit Freedom of Information Act requests to prevent you from doing your job. That's where we are now in 2010. 1 or 2 individuals can use Freedom of Information Act requests to essentially bring the enterprise of climate science to a standstill, simply because they don't like what you're doing and what results you obtain. In my opinion, that is not in the public interest. That is not in the interest of anyone here in the United States. We need reliable information on the nature and causes of climate change. As Dan and others pointed out, it's all about the science. We may not agree on all the details of the science. Clearly we don't. But it's in everyone's best interest to have people doing research on difficult issues, like the causes of changes in the intensity and frequency of hurricanes, or like the causes of changes in coral bleaching. We don't want to have someone mandating no-go areas and saying, oh no, you can't do any research in this area because you might come up with results that I don't like. So I'm not gonna let you do any work in that area at all. That would not be in anyone's best interests. Yet unfortunately, that's the situation we're now facing, where 1 or 2 people can essentially overwhelm the system with Freedom of Information Act requests. It's been likened to denial of service in terms of overwhelming servers with requests so that you can't do any more work. That's where we are now. This is insidious. I don't know the answer to it. I think it is a fundamentally different situation for our entire field. It's very worrying, it's very troubling. I do believe that all of us, scientists and journalists, have a responsibility to shed a light on this kind of stuff and to try and alert people to the fact that it's not in their best interests to be denied access to the science.